Well, I think that Zimmerman is just benefiting again from the privilege of looking like he's white. That's not luck. I also think that in the black community, all we have to do is to say a black man threatened us. He don't have to have no gun, no knife, no nothing. If we say he threatened me, officer, they take him to jail. There's no question about it. And the other thing is, Zimmerman has the O.J. Simpson complex, Dr. Drew.
Tell me.
You know, he's having all of these fraudulent accidents and mistakes. He's trying to get caught. He wants to be punished. He deserves to be punished. And he's just, you know, so wrapped up in it. He knows he did wrong and he wants to be punished. So he's going to keep doing things till finally they get him.
All right, Frank, I'm going to give you a chance now. But Frank, it is kind of strange, don't you think, that he seemed to be getting people. It's weird that he seemed to be getting what looks like special treatment. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I have to agree with you, Dr. Drew. It does seem like it, but you know, we have procedures, and the law enforcement followed the procedures. It was a domestic dispute. They separated the parties. They got one side, they got the other side, and I can guarantee you, if there was any probable cause, George would have been taken to jail.
And Frank, let me ask you this.
No doubt about it.
Frank, and I will refrain from...
Oh, he wouldn't have.
Well, hold on, Miss Elliott.
That was probable cause with Trayvon Martin. He wasn't taken to jail.
I'm more curious, Frank, and I will refrain from calling you Taaffe the way Nancy does, is that, can you tell us anything about what's going on in the relationship between Shelley and George? It seems pretty crazy right now.
Well, let's go back to the night of the shooting, back in February 2012. George and Shelley were separated on the night of the shooting. Actually, she was staying with a friend a couple of weeks before that. And on the night of the shooting, Shelley Zimmerman wasn't even in their marital house. And then you compound that with the shooting, and then you compound that with everything they've been through. And Dr. Drew, let me ask you this. Is there any real handbook? Is there any real handbook that
on divorce?
You know, divorced couples are supposed to go through?
Awful.
You compound
let's face it. There's going to be a lot of hostilities.
You compound that with the fact that he got that $135,000.
Well,
that she lied about. Let's be fair. She's actually convicted of lying about something in a court of law. That's a pretty big deal.
Well, that's an excellent point, because now we have her as a convicted perjurer, and she's on the phone, and anybody could call 911. And here in the state of Florida, you know, anybody can call 911. You're not held accountable, but the police did show up. They were there, very quickly.
They are both liars.
No one was taken to jail.
Liars.
You know,
but it's not the first time. It's not the first time that someone was called that he was accused of a domestic dispute, is it, Frank?
He had a previous domestic violence incident in 2005. He had a then fiancé. They took out restraining orders on one another.
There was one. Okay, there was one incident. It happened about 8 years ago with another young woman who they had another dispute.
Let me do this.
She filed a temporary,
Taaffe,
a temporary restraining order was placed on him, and vice versa. And guess what? It was dismissed when they went to trial.
I want to show you guys something.
Here.
Okay,
we have civil procedures.
I got you, buddy. Listen, now let me show you. I want you, if the control room would mind getting the attorney, Shelley's attorney, made some comments today that were kind of interesting. He spoke, I said male or female attorney. He spoke for the first time today, and here's what he said. Let's take a look at this.
Shelley was taking a while. He showed up. He's taking pictures. She's telling him she's videoing, and things escalate. The next thing you know, there's something going on inside the garage and inside the hallway. Shelley's maybe loses a little bit of her video, and then she tries to start it again and is telling him, and then her iPad is taken away, an iPad that he gave to her back in, I think, 2011, has a nice little inscription on the back, and then it's taken away from her by George, and it's busted.
Is it true he took it over his knee and then took a knife to it?
Well, there is
a photo of it.
Yeah, there's an indication the knife comes out and the thing's pried apart and ripped up.
Jenny, as the female legal consultant here, it seems like a woman scorned here. There's a lot of stuff going on, no?
Look, listen, I understand why she feels like a woman scorned, Dr. Drew. Frankly, Frank, here this woman was, and on the night that they were purportedly separated and he shot Trayvon. She then essentially stood by him during the whole trial. She didn't come out like the rest of us with guns blazing, if you will, saying he's a bad guy. No, I do think his comeuppance is headed his way, by the way. I do.
What's that, Miss Ali?
Look, nobody has a perfect marriage, Jenny. Nobody has a perfect marriage,
of course not.
And you know what? You compound this with those events.
Miss Ali.
Miss Ali, why do you always want to hit the race button in this thing?
He started getting those donations. She stood by him after he started getting them donations and that money. And that's what she's mad about now. She thinks he going to get the money to the new girlfriend. But she got 100 days of community service for a sentence. She should be made to do that 100 days working for the Trayvon Martin Foundation.